Time now for the Wells Report front page. This is a digest of news since yesterday's broadcast and while we were asleep. Obviously, yesterday, the big news was political. Speaker Kevin McCarthy was removed as Speaker of the House. This from USA Today. Republican Kevin McCarthy's deal with hardline House conservatives that handed him the Speaker's gavel in January unraveled yesterday as those same right-wing rebels, joined by Democrats, shoved him out of the Speaker's seat. McCarthy's 269-day reign as Speaker was ended by a 216-210 vote in a move that has no marker in modern history and paralyzes Congress for the time being. The rebellion was led by conservative hardliner Representative Matt Gaetz. It has roiled the House, and it's being called chaos by the mainstream media. The move to oust McCarthy, known as a motion to vacate, had the support of a handful of hardline right-wing lawmakers that have expressed anger at McCarthy for working with Democrats to avert a government shutdown. Gaetz led a group of 8 Republicans to remove the Speaker, joined by 208 Democrats who at times giggled at the GOP infighting. Republicans were not laughing, however, as the Civil War has cast a shadow over their majority. During the debate, some accused Gaetz of grandstanding and hurtling the House into chaos without a clear plan as to who, if anyone, would take over the job. The group of 8 House Republicans who joined with Democrats in this historic vote are as follows. This reported by CNN. Andy Biggs of Arizona, Ken Buck of Colorado, Tim Burchett of Tennessee, Eli Crane of Arizona, Matt Gaetz of Florida, Bob Good of Virginia, Nancy Mace of South Carolina, and Matt Rosendale of Montana. For his part, Representative Steve Scalise, he is the Republican from Louisiana. He is the majority leader in the U.S. House, is working to replace McCarthy. House Majority Leader Steve Scalise is seeking support to replace former House Speaker Kevin McCarthy, who was removed in a narrow vote early yesterday, according to Fox News. Sources familiar with the situation told Fox Scalise has been making calls behind the scenes to shore up support ahead of a possible vote next Wednesday to elect the next Speaker. Representative Matt Gaetz, who introduced the motion to vacate against McCarthy that ultimately led to his removal, told reporters yesterday afternoon that Scalise would be a phenomenal speaker. McCarthy was temporarily replaced by Representative Patrick McHenry, the Republican from North Carolina, the new Speaker pro tempore of the House, who will preside over the chamber until a new Speaker is elected. And yes, there are ideas that maybe the new Speaker could be former President Donald Trump. This being reported by Fox News. As Kevin McCarthy booted from his post as House Speaker after a motion to vacate brought forth by Matt Gaetz. Texas Representative Troy Nehls, said in a statement yesterday afternoon his first order of business when the House reconvenes will be, quote, to nominate Donald J. Trump for Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, unquote. He went on to say, President Trump, the greatest president of my lifetime, has a proven record of putting America first and will make the House great again. He's not the only one. Representative Greg Steube, the Republican from Florida, followed suit in a post on X. He said yesterday, at Real Don Trump for Speaker. The next Speaker does not have to be a current sitting member in the House, but every Speaker in U.S. history has been so far. It's not the first time Trump has been floated as a nominee for the Speakership either. In January, as McCarthy struggled to garner enough votes to secure his speakership, Matt Gaetz from Florida, cast a ballot for President Trump. Elsewhere in national news, this is breaking from WBAL television. Baltimore police are searching for a suspect after 5 young adults were injured last night in a shooting at Morgan State University that prompted active shooter alerts. Baltimore Police Commissioner Richard Worley and Morgan State University Police Chief Lance Hatcher said university police officers were on patrol about 9:25 last night when they heard discharging weapons on campus. Police said 4 men and a woman, ages 18 to 22, suffered non-life-threatening injuries in the shooting. 4 of the 5 victims are Morgan State University students. The entire city of Baltimore aches for the Morgan community and for the victims and their families, also for our city as a whole, said Baltimore Mayor Brandon Scott. Kaiser Permanente, also breaking news, has just walked off the job. More than 75,000 unionized employees said, no, we're not working today. One of the nation's largest not-for-profit health providers, Kaiser Permanente. They walked off the job today, marking the largest healthcare worker strike in U.S. history. The striking employees, who work across California, Colorado, Washington, Virginia, Oregon, and Washington, D.C., are represented by a coalition of 8 unions that comprise 40% of Kaiser Permanente's total staff. The strike began at 6 a.m. this morning and will run through Saturday morning. The unprecedented strike comes at a time of heightened labor activity across the U.S., with tens of thousands of workers across multiple industries taking to the picket lines for better pay and benefits. In the wake of the pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic, however, healthcare workers in particular have been fighting for safer and more secure working environments. They are demanding improving staffing levels, arguing the current staff shortages are compromising patient care, and taking many workers to the breaking point. Donald Trump in New York civil court just arrived there for the third day of his trial. This being reported by CNN. Judge Arthur Engoron rebuked Donald Trump after the former president attacked his clerk in a social media post yesterday and forbade the parties from making any future comments about his staff. This morning, one of the defendants posted on a social media account a disparaging, untrue, and personally identifying post about a member of my staff. Although I have since ordered the post deleted, and apparently it was also emailed out to millions of other recipients, unquote. This according to Judge Engoron. Trump posted on Truth Social yesterday attacking Engoron's clerk, claiming she was a girlfriend to State Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, a New York Democrat, and was showing a picture of the two of them together. It was not immediately clear where the connection between Engoron's clerk and Schumer was beyond taking a photo. CNN has reached out for to Leader Schumer's office for a comment. Also, by the way, questions are now being asked about the New York civil court judge valuations of Trump properties. A New York judge ruled last week that former President Donald Trump inflated the value of Mar-a-Lago by an eye-popping 2,300%. From 2011 to 2021, the Palm Beach County assessor appraised the market value of Mar-a-Lago at between $18 million and $27.6 million, Engoron wrote in his ruling. The judge noted that Trump valued Mar-a-Lago at between $426.5 million and $612 million, an overvaluation of at least 2,300% compared to the assessor's appraisal. Now, people are questioning that decision-making. Quote, appraisal values and market values are not the same thing. It's a well-known fact. This according to Eli Baracha, the chair of the School of Real Estate at Florida International University. He went on to say, quote, that's especially true for properties that are unique. It's very easy to argue that Mar-a-Lago is a unique property, unquote. Other people commented it's not correct to assume that a tax assessment and market value are the same thing. This according to Jonathan Miller, president and CEO of Miller Samuel Incorporated, a real estate appraisal company in New York City. The Biden family in the news. Hunter Biden has pled not guilty to a felony gun charge. This from the Wall Street Journal. Hunter Biden pled not guilty yesterday to felony gun charges, opening a fraught new chapter in his long legal saga in the same federal courthouse in Delaware where roughly 2 months earlier he had hoped to put those troubles behind him. Biden, who appeared during a 25-minute hearing, pled not guilty through his lawyer, Abby Lowell, to 3 felony charges related to his 2018 purchase of a handgun. During a court hearing that opened a new stage in the Justice Department's prosecution as his father campaigns for re-election. Biden said little in court except to acknowledge that he understood the charges against him. He also responded, yes, Your Honor, when he was asked whether he wanted to be continue to be represented by the lawyers who joined him yesterday. In a statement released after the hearing, Abby Lowell said the gun charges were, quote, the result of political pressure from President Trump and his MAGA allies to force the Justice Department to ignore the law and deviate from its policies in cases like this one. For his part, President Biden has forgiven another $9 billion in student loan debt. This from USA Today. Another 125,000 student loan borrowers will have $9 billion in student loan debt erased, according to the Biden administration, speaking this morning. Those borrowers were already eligible for cancellation through various programs, public service loan forgiveness for people working as teachers and healthcare workers, for instance, home income-driven repayment plans that link payments to wages and forgive balances after 20 or 25 years of payments, or discharges for those with disabilities. The forgiveness comes after a number of similar announcements since June, when the Supreme Court struck down President Joe Biden's original plan of providing up to $20,000 in loan forgiveness for most borrowers. Although the president was thwarted in his attempt at far-reaching relief, his administration has managed to chisel away at student debt on a smaller scale. Yesterday, it came out that Mega Millions is heating up. The Mega Millions is now up to an estimated $315 million. This is not to be confused with the Powerball. The Mega Millions jackpot, which is up for grabs again, has reached a whopping $315 million. The numbers were drawn last night, just after 11 p.m. If there's a winner, they choose the cash option. They'll go home with more than $140.3 million. This, according to the lottery. Here are the winning numbers: 3, 19, 32, 39, 59, and the Powerball was 24. I'm making this. There is another one. There is another lottery that's over $1 billion, and I'm getting those confused. This was the Powerball lottery, in case you were wondering. By the way, the megaplier was 3x, and I don't have any idea what any of this means. I'm not a gambling guy, but good luck if those are your numbers. Do me a favor, float me a couple of grand. It would really help me out a lot. And this, by the way, is National Taco Day. Deals and free food at Taco Bell, Moe's, Jack in the Box, and more. This being reported by USA Today. It may not fall on Tuesday this year, but get ready for all the chicken, carnitas, and chorizo that your taste buds, I keep saying that wrong, it's actually chorizo, your taste buds can tolerate. Taco lovers. National Taco Day returns today. From Taco Bell and California Tortilla to Moe's Southwest Grill and El Torito, chains across the U.S. are offering tasty deals ranging from free tacos to discounted margaritas to wash them down. Here are some of those. California Tortilla is celebrating National Taco Day by giving away a free taco coupon with any in-store purchase. The free taco offer is good in-store only while supplies last. Let's see, El Torito is offering its free street taco trio plate with a purchase of another entree of equal or greater value. Jack in the Box, those famous, tasty, cheap tacos, is celebrating by offering a 2-for-1 deal on their monster tacos, as well as the chain's new extra spooky Angry Monster Taco. Get 2 for the price of 1, 99 cents at the Jack in the Box app. And that is today's front page.